Cue the cheesy podcast music.
Welcome to MegaFest, where we don't just manifest, we MegaFest. I'm your host, Megs Malloy. I'm creating a community of silly and soulful working moms who are mostly happy, but know they're capable of more. More self-love, more self-esteem, more self-trust, more calm, joy, natural highs, more magic in the world, and more laughter. Each week, me and my guests will bring you tips and tricks on how to make the most of your one precious life. And we're going to make them effective and efficient because ain't nobody got time for that. I believe in you. I see the light in you. I want you to shine your light. I want you to become all that you're capable of. So let's hang out. Let's MegaFest together. Welcome back to episode 23, where we are talking about part 3 of Law of Alluring, which you might know as Law of Attraction, but I am renaming it Law of Alluring. Part 3 is all about creating a desire and then magnetizing that desire, because we know in Law of Alluring, there's the setting the intention, knowing what you want, having that in your mind, which is like an energy current. It's like a signal out, and then creating a burning desire is like a magnetism. It like brings it toward you. So you've got the out and you've got the in. In episode 23, we talked about how do you figure out what you want? Because I think for a lot of working moms and just moms in general, for women, we don't know what we want, or we don't know how to articulate what we want, or we have self-worth issues around asking for what we want and deserving what we want. So we got all that figured out in the last episode. And this episode, we're going to talk about how do you create an intense desire in order to magnetize and attract what you want. In this episode, we will learn how to become bewitching fucking bitches. Holy moly. Yes, bewitching, the word of the day, which it's kind of a stretch. Okay, Megs, I know. Bewitching it's kind of more of an adjective, but let's look at the definition. Powerfully or seductively attractive or charming, enchanting or delightful, capturing interest as if by a spell. To bewitch is to cast a spell on someone with witchcraft or to capture their attention in another way. So I think we should all be witches. Let us bewitch our greatest desires. Mic drop. That's what we're doing here. We are bewitching our greatest desires. In my mind, it's another word for magnetizing. So do what you will with that. But I think we should all be witching witches. Okay. That's enough out of you for now. Thank you. So as you know, if you've heard the other episodes, you know that I've had a long obsession with law of attraction, law of resonance. How do we get more of what we want in our lives? Because I know it's possible. I've done it before, but really getting good at how do you do it? That is the key. And I want to share what I've learned with you. I also started listening to Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's the quantum physics of law of attraction. And in that book, he gives a great example of how do you bewitch your desires into your life. Oh man, I gotta get a new fart gun, guys. The farts are just too long. So here's the scenario. Joe Dispenza's daughter comes to him and says, Dad, I want to go to Italy this summer. I want to go to 6 cities in Italy, and I want to work there, and I want it to be 6 weeks, and I want it to be a paid gig. And he's like, okay, well, I think you know what to do. So he tells her, just like his catchphrase is like, dream in Italian. So you feel like you are living that experience already. Live it with your five senses, as Tony Robbins says. Like, we know that the imagination is a preview of life's coming attractions. She didn't try to figure out how it was going to happen. She was just giving thanks, living the feelings of celebration that you feel when something all comes together. She was thinking that everything was done and that it had already happened, and she was so happy, and her mind was there. So anyway, a couple weeks later, she comes back to her dad and she says, "Dad, I found a program that pretty much aligns with what I want, but it costs $4,000, which is a discount from $7,000. And he's like, "No, that's not it. You need to go back and dream some more." So she's doing this, and she's coming into her finals, and it's like coming close to the end of the school year, and she's in the library studying, and she runs into her old art history teacher, who just so happens to have an opportunity to work in Italy for 6 weeks, and she will be able to go to all of the cities where she wanted to go, and it's fully paid, and it brings her back so she can have the rest of her summer like she wanted. And holy moly, okay, like, she is Joe Dispenza's daughter, so obviously she's going to be really good at manifesting, but I'm pretty sure anybody can do this, because all we need to do is figure out what we want, be very clear about it, know that we deserve it. That's a big one. Open up your receiving hole for all the good things that you know can come to you, and then start living and giving thanks as if it's already happened. So let me give you this example. One of our listeners here, one of the poo-taters, let's just call her Kelly, and she wants to manifest a bunch of clients in May. Like, she wants to be so busy with new business or recurring business in May. She knows she wants to have 3 appointments booked every week. Now, we didn't talk about revenue goals, but, she can make those. And so I just kind of was like exploring, like, what's your morning routine like? And she told me, she gets up, some other things, but then she goes for a walk with her dog, and she like says prayers and is grateful the whole time she's walking her dog. And my recommendation to incorporate Joe Dispenza's magnetic desire bewitchingness is to habit stack your dreaming about this. So habit stacking is like, when she goes for the walk with the dog, the whole time she's out there, she is fucking vibrating so hard, like the feelings that she's going to feel when she has got her full calendar in May. So how could that feel? You could feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it all worked out. I can't believe I did this. This is so great. I'm so busy, but I'm keeping on top of everything. And we're not only having this revenue in May, but we're also going to book more clients in the coming months, because we know that we're going to do a good job with these guys. It's all going to work out, and then we're going to get more clients because of them. And I'm just so comfortably busy that I'm enjoying my work so much. And it's important to say it in the present tense or in the past tense, like it's already happened. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that worked out. That was just such perfect timing. I am so grateful for all of these blessings that have just aligned. I know that we do good work. I know that we will be the best people to help them achieve their goals. And it's just such an honor to work with them. Imagine if you do that for 10 minutes every day, what kind of attraction and alluring that can create. If you have that intention, your brain will figure out ways to make it happen, and the universe will conspire to make it happen. It's important to note at this point that, yes, being grateful, living in the feeling that you have achieved what you want to achieve, or what you want to happen has all worked out for you, that's important. And there's nothing that can reflect or reject your desires by being in a state of lack. So the reason why we focus on already having it is because we don't want to focus on, I don't have this, I want it, and there's like that gap there. But if you let the universe know you are ready for this to come into your life, it's gonna come. It is. It's gonna come. So creating a burning desire and magnetizing your desire, you have to live it and be grateful for it with all your 5 senses. Really put yourself in that situation of it's happening or it's already happened. Wow, this episode is awesome. I'm just going to call a quick TO to tell you about Nutrition with Megs. It's a body positive nutrition mentoring so that you can optimize your physique, whatever that means for you. So if you started this year thinking, I've got a couple pounds I need to lose, and you haven't done it so far, and you're not sure how you're gonna do it, this help I'm offering is for you. I know we're all curious beings, so take a look at the link in the bio, and that should give you more information. Losing fat is a science, but habit formation, that is a whole nother story. So I'm here to hold your hand, pat your back, cheer for you, and lead the way. All right, I better get back to that episode. I'll see you in the show notes. You know, here at MegaFest, I am always big on tips and tricks. So here is a technique that you could try. It's from the Silva method, which was created by Jose Silva. He was a hypnotist that created techniques to help people self-hypnotize, which sounds kind of crazy and woo-woo until you realize that hypnotizing yourself is really just about relaxing. He uses techniques and just sounds to get you into a theta brainwave. You know, you're much more receptive to intuitive downloads when you're in that brainwave. So you can Google Jose Silva 3 scenes technique. You start out by imagining your current situation and kind of exaggerating the pain and the suffering and almost make it humorous and ridiculous, but really focusing on the trouble and the challenges. And then the second scene is where it's starting to get better. You invite any ideas that could help you make the situation better. And then the third scene is everything's all better. Hooray. It's a perfect outcome, and it's happening right now. I mean, I don't know. It's just a technique. It's a trick, but it works for people. Okay, are we going to dispute that Albert Einstein is a really smart guy? I think we all know he's a really smart guy. And his whole thing was imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. So if we can be intentional about using our imagination to create the things that we want in our life, why not use that? You have to be intentional about these things. And listen up, Pootators, because this is the most important part of this whole thing about magnetizing, about law of alluring, about being a wit, bewitching. The most important thing is trusting that it's all going to work out. You don't need to know the how. You just need to trust that it's all going to work out. So those are my thoughts about law of alluring and desire and magnetism. I wanted to recommend 3 manifestation teachers, influencers who could possibly help you on your journey. The first is Vishen Kalani, and is that how you say his last name? Anyway, sometimes he just goes by Vishen, so let's go with that. Kind of like Cher. He's a one-name wonder. Vishen has created Mind Valley, and it is kind of expensive, but I will tell you, Vishen has updated the Silva method to the Silva Ultra Mind method. And I've been doing that and practicing that, and it was super helpful. I will give a 10 out of 10 endorsement to Mind Valley because not only does it have a learning management system where you can take all kinds of courses and meditations on whatever is ailing you, relationships, like just anything. They have so many courses that you can take, but they also have a community there too. And as we know, it's not always about the learning. It's sometimes about the connections that you make. The second manifestation resource I have for you is called To Be Magnetic. And the chick's name, I think it's like Lacey Phillips or something like that. She has a membership. She also has a podcast, which you could start at her podcast because like I've learned so much through podcasts. But she has a membership through To Be Magnetic. It taught me a lot about what's called like shadows. So that's the limiting beliefs, the traumas that you've experienced, the things that you've learned, the ideas that you are holding on to about what do you deserve and things like this. So that takes the manifestation in a new level. And I think it's definitely worthwhile to check that out. And then, of course, Gabrielle Bernstein is the author of Super Attractor. That one is so great. It is, if you're going to start with any book about law of alluring, I would say start with Super Attractor. It really gets into some cool stuff with like signs from the universe and spirit guides, really being grateful for your life as it is now, because that reduces the lack mentality. And last but not least, there's this chick on Instagram, calls herself Manifestation Babe. And from what I've seen, she's pretty good at what she does. And she has a lot of courses. And really, there's so many manifestation teachers out there. Those are the ones that I kind of look to. I'm sure there's way more that I'm not even thinking about. Like Esther Hicks has a book about law of attraction. You know, Michael Beckwith talks about law of resonance. There's a lot of information. And of course, oh my gosh, let's not forget The Secret, the original law of attraction book. I think manifesting is a little bit more nuanced than The Secret, but I will say that The Secret helped me put down on paper one of my desires, and it took 5 years, but I did triple my income. And then within the next like 2 or 3 years after that, I doubled it. So I will say that, something to be said for it. But I'm interested to hear, who do you follow? What do you think works for you? What do you like about law of alluring? And when you tell me about who's your favorite manifestation teacher, I'd love to know, what do you want to manifest? Could be something small, could be something ginormous, like your own TV show on HBO, or doubling your podcast audience, or maybe you want to manifest your soulmate. A lot of people want that. So let me know. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. Oh my gosh, you're just the best. Thank you. I hope you got something out of today's episode. And if you did, you can share it on social media, you can share it with a friend, or you can just let me know. You can text me, or you can leave a review. So after all we've talked about today, let us be witches and bewitch that shit into our lives. Yes, because we don't just manifest, we megafest. This is an awesome episode of MegaFest, but I'm just going to call a quick TO to tell you about the Soulgasm Society. My mission is to create a community of supportive and uplifting women who want to know how to make their one short precious life all the more joyful, add in some play and celebration, and learn the science behind how do you make your brain happy, all the techniques on how to calm your nervous system, and how to not fly off the mommy hamster wheel, because we can't all stop working and you can't really get rid of your kids for more than 2 weeks. You gotta deal with it. And the best way to make your life happy is from the inside out. If you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for your kids. They will see a difference. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And there is so much truth to that. So the Soulgasm Society is your answer. Come join us. You can click the link in the bio of my Instagram or the link in the show notes. I can't wait to have multiple simultaneous soulgasms with you. All right, now back to Mega Fest.